Hello, everyone. It's Preacher Band Sports. And, hold on a sec. Wow. I don't even know. Let me just check something. Okay. I was testing the sound because I'm just okay. I know I did like a post game, but I kind of wanted to get more into it like on my own. Like I could just make a video, but to be honest, I'm too fucking lazy. So um, yeah, I hate that. Yeah, it's my laptop. I had this laptop for a couple years now. That's why my camera looks old. But hold on, let me just share this out. Okay. All right. All right. So the Denver Broncos, they won 24-15. Mm-hmm. Now, I got one question. I got a serious question for like the whole like Broncos team, besides the defense. Where the fuck was this all season? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm happy we got the win, but where was this? Where was that offense all season? You mean to tell me Brett Rippin, as bad as he is, because he's a backup, so I'm not gonna thrash him. He scored 24 points last week. The Broncos scored 28 points against the Chiefs. Again, they could have won and Russ didn't get his head knocked off. You mean to tell me that they managed to score more than 16 points in back-to-back games, but when we needed them the most, a month and a half ago, they completely disappointed us. I don't get it. Why did they wait until the last like month of the season to finally put up something? Where was this all season? You know how many games we could have won? We could have we should have, if that offense played like it did these past couple weeks, we'd have 8 wins already. We would probably be contending with the Chiefs because I know the games we would lost the Chiefs because they just lost that game. What's another game? What's another game they got? The Panthers, yeah, they just deserve to lose that game. Like, really? All those other games they could have won. And the Seahawks game, they just fumbled the game away. They would have won if Gordon and Javante knew how to hold on to the ball. But besides that, both Raiders game, if we didn't have Butterfield, exactly. Both of those Raiders game, I'm like, why the Raiders though? And no, and I'll tell you one thing: that second one in Denver, that for sure, I really thought we had that one because Latavius Murray was doing great, and then the defense, like, Gordon left points on the table, blocked field goal. It could have been a touchdown, and then I know for sure the Raiders would have been done because we would have had momentum going into the half. But no, instead they got the momentum with that blocked field goal. But I really don't know what to say about this. I'm glad we won this game. Next week they play the Rams on Christmas, and it's gonna be a bad game. Russ is supposed to be playing, so I can tell you that. But I'm glad Sertan, he got a pick, the second pick of the year. But he's not gonna make the Pro Bowl because casuals vote for players who have the most picks. Um Justin Simmons had 2 interceptions. One of them was a near pick six, but we still ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive, so it didn't matter. Um, Justin Simmons has 5 picks on the year, and he's missed 5 games, so that's crazy. Um, Gregory came back, but he didn't do much. Judy, I like the way the coaches are doing actually something smart. They're moving them around a lot so they can't really get a beat on them, and it's been working. I don't know what those mean when Cortland Sutton comes back because he's our number one. In my opinion, Judy's looking more like the number one. He's having a good year. I wish he would crack 1,000, but I don't think that would happen. I mean, he has 6 touchdowns on the year, so that's something. He has 6 touchdowns a year. These past few games, he's been consistent. So that's something to keep a lookout for. But another thing is, I hate this O line. This O line is so banged up, like it's crazy. Reisner's the only old lineman who did good. Billy Turner had an all right game, but two guys on that O line, I really want gone with a burning passion. Graham Glasgow, I never liked that dude. I tried telling people, no, that's the same guy that made Draymond Jones his bitch. So no. Draymond Jones raped that dude when we played Detroit in Drew Lock's first year. And I never liked the signing. I never liked that signing. Never liked it. And then there's Cameron Fleming. Oh my god, bro. Oh man, I can't stand that dude. That dude is the worst old lineman in the league. Every single game he gives up like 2 sacks. He can't block. He can't. The only thing he's somewhat all right in is run blocking, and even that he's shaky in. O line is terrible. I cannot wait until they rebuild this O line in the offseason. If there's one thing I want that O line rebuild. Reisner and Miners, I want them to stay where they are. Bowles, he's got to come back because his injury. He suffered a leg injury. But I want a new center. Graham Glasgow is trash, and Cushionberry's soft. I tried defending that dude, but he just sucks. I main focus is really a right tackle. They need to draft one. No more signing these bums. There's a reason why old linemen are in free agency, probably because they suck. I don't want to sign another old lineman. I just want to draft one. Then there's Latavius Murray and Marlon Mack. They both had great games. I wouldn't mind Murray back as a backup to behind Javante and Marlon Mack. I wouldn't mind him as a special teams because Mike Boone, he stinks. He stunk. He needs to go. What else? Um, I am also tired of this coaching staff. I'm tired of this. No, let me rephrase that. I'm tired of the strength and conditioning coach. Every single week, you can't go here without one injury popping up. Everybody is getting hurt. Even McManus got hurt at one point, and I'll get to him in a sec. We have the worst strength and conditioning coach in the league. Hey, he better be gone. If he comes back next year, I'm just gonna get ready for more 20+ players on the IR. These strength and conditioning coach treated players like shit, and it's not even funny either. I just want if these things get hacked, hack it. No, I don't care if he won. No, he's still dead. I don't care. He's still gone. And if he bring him back, then I'm gonna be pissed off. Now, one I want is Frank Wright. I think he got too much of the blame of the Colts because rumors are that if he comes in, he will help rebuild that old line. I'm like, good. That's the one thing I hope change on the offense. Don't nothing need to change the offense. They need an old lineman. Receivers, if they can stay healthy, they'll be a solid receiving core. But no, Hamler, I want Hamler gone. I'm tired of looking at his face. He keeps getting hurt. He's a bust. Judy's been looking good, so he's proven why he's a number one pick. But Sutton, ever since he got that ACL injury, he has not been the same. He hasn't been the same. Greg Dulcich, he had a bad game. He only had, I think, one catch, but it's Brett Rippin, so I can't really like fuck him over on that. But Dulcich, I'm not gonna get into the hype about him yet, but he's been looking all right for a third round pick. Alberto needs to go. He's not coming back. He stinks. Um, what else? The inside linebackers, Singleton and Jewell, they're just good at tackling and run stopping. Their coverage, especially Singleton, is a liability. But unfortunately, I knowing the Broncos, they're not gonna get rid of either one of them because I know it. Because the coaches love them, like Evero loves them, and if Evero loves them, then they're not gonna they're not gonna let. So that's gonna be the one liability on the defense. The defensive line is Draymond Jones. He's ended his season with a hip injury. I don't know if Denver's gonna resign him because he ended the season with 6.5 sacks. If I'm the Broncos, I would resign him to like how many sacks he got, which is 6.5. There, he's done. But defensive, but our defensive end. DJ Jones has been good in the interior. Mike Purcell, I don't care. I still want him gone. I hate that guy. He's a hothead. I don't care if his run stopping's all right. His pass rush is god awful. On the opposite of Randy Gregory, I don't know who is going to be. I guess Browning. He's been all right. Benito's been a disappointment for our draft pick, and Jonathan Cooper, he's a hothead. I, I really don't like him. And then there's our corners. Obviously, Surtain, he's playing a lot better ever since Adams and DJ Moore killed him. And then there's on the opposite. I don't think the Broncos are gonna next year. Ronald Darby's on a contract here. I don't think Denver's gonna resign him because he's gonna be coming off an ACL injury, and our fourth round rookie Damari Mathis has actually been looking really good ever since that Chargers game. Because that Chargers game, he was horrible. He had 4 PIs in that game. I'm like, Jesus, is he like Anthony Brown or something? And ever since then, he has picked it up. And I like seeing it. And then there's the safeties. There's Justin Simmons, all pro safety. And I don't care. He's top 5. After what he did last game, he's top 5. And whoever don't agree, they're just pure hater. And there's this one guy I know, but I'm not even gonna get into that. And then there's Kareem Jackson. I hope he's gone. Kareem Jackson stinks. He's washed. When he first came to Denver, oh yeah, he was good. He was a Pro. He even made a Pro Bowl count. He didn't play, but he was a Pro Bowl ballot at one point. But I don't want him. He's washed. He's old. He's like 35. Like Jesus, he can't cover. All he does is pop people. That's all he does now. He just pops people. He just pops people now. He's 34. Like, come on, man. And he's gonna be 35 before the draft. So they can't bring him back. I'm ready to see Caden Stearns. He's better for sure. But and then there's kicking. Corliss, let's start with Corliss Waitman. First half he had a bad game, and then the second half he was good. Waitman's one of those inconsistent punters. Like I say he'll be fine, but McManus, it's time to get a new kicker. McManus, he's washed. He's not the same. He's 31. He's get his prime. He's on the wrong side of 30. He's beginning to get out of his prime, and like I like the guy, but he just has to go. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry, guys. Like he's just terrible. He's just terrible. I can't do it with him anymore. He missed like a 36-yard field goal. I'm like, that's a gimme. That's almost like an extra point, and he ended up missing it. I think probably next year they're gonna give McManus one more year, and then I think they're gonna let him go. They signed him to an extension, but they might as well eat that tiny bit of dead cap because it's not much. Kickers are barely worth 5 million, so like, come on. But I will say this: the special teams, like, oh my god, Montreal Washington's actually been a disappointment for this in that game against the Cardinals. He fumbled, he muffed the punt once, but he got it. He fell right on top of it, so it didn't matter. But his punt returning has not been that good. And other takeaways in this game, the defensive line and pressure. They only in that game they had 3 sacks, which is all right. It's all right. 3 sacks, not bad at all. But I will say this: they had, I think, according to Bondi, had I think 7 QB hits, which is all right. But this team, it's clearly shown that they rely more on their secondary than their defensive line, and this has always been like this. Why do you think Denver's history is always a bunch of secondaries? There's like so many guys in and like our secondary is like had one of the best in like NFL history, like Brian Dawkins, obviously Steve Atwater, there's Champ Bailey, like all-time greats. There's Aqib Talib, Chris Harris Jr. obviously. Um Stewart and TJ Ward, I'm not saying they were great, but they were solid. I'm talking about like Hall of Famers. And then there's obviously some right now, like the upcoming of Patrick Surtain, obviously Justin Simmons right now, the way he's playing. I just want honestly, I just want this team to get in the playoffs soon before this team gets past its prime, and then it'll be too late and they'll have to rebuild again. But no, this coaching staff makes the offense look like a kid league, and I don't know what to say. I can't blame the defense on a lot of these games. The Chiefs game, yeah, the defense. I don't care if they got 3 turnovers. They got Mahomes to throw 3 interceptions, and they only capitalized on one of them. But Russell Wilson proved that he's not the problem. Him and Judy led us back into that Chiefs game. Russ isn't washed. I can tell you that for sure. That O line, that O line is washed for sure. And I want to say this: the Cardinals game, if Russ would have played, they still would have won. If Kyler Murray would have played, I still think Denver would have won because Kyler Murray is not that good of a quarterback. He sucks. He's not even top 15. He's extremely talented, but guys like Cliff Kingsbury is starting to ruin him and show his true colors. He's a terrible head coach. If you're a Cardinal fan, then you have to let that dude go. You have to let Kingsbury go and find somebody else. I mean, there's some couple head coaching jobs. Like there's guys like Eric Bieniemy, D'Amico Ryan's gonna be a head coach. I don't know who he's gonna go to, but it's gonna be a team that needs some defensive help. But I want to say this: in the Cardinals game, we still had a somewhat somewhat hard time stopping the run. The run defense still hasn't changed. It's really inconsistent. I remember ETN from the Jags ran all over us, but Derrick Henry, Denver shut him down completely. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. This team is so weird. The culture has to change. They're making improvements to the stadium. Okay, who gives a shit? I want changes to the team. I want a better O line than that. That O line is probably that's like the Joe Burrow O line from last year when Burrow had no time and he still managed to do something. I want a new right tackle and another center. Right tackle is for sure. I want that more than anything. The whole offensive side of the coaching staff. I want a new offensive coordinator and head coach. Hackett, I don't care if he won. He's still terrible. And if the Broncos keep him, then that just means, oh boy, I don't know what it means. I guarantee you, if the Broncos win out, Hackett's gonna stay. I hope to God that don't happen, but it just seems like a possibility because I remember this one head coach. I can't recall the name who was downright terrible, and then um I think it might have been Cliff King. I think it was Cliff Kingsbury actually. Um, Started out bad. They finished the season strong. They didn't make the playoffs, but then they kept them. And I hope that's not the case with Hackett. I want him gone. I never wanted Hackett. I wanted Kevin O'Connell. And look what he's doing with the Vikings. Then again, the Broncos don't have a borderline top 5 running back, one of the best receivers in the league, one a top 10 tight end. Like they don't have that. The only thing they would have is a defense for sure, but I don't know. The Broncos, I'm glad they got the win. Like I'm glad they got the win. But what I'm not glad about is why did they wait until the last part of the season to finally pop loose? Where was this all season? Because I want to know. They had this. They had this from the beginning of the season. You know how many games they would have won? The Seahawks game, they screwed that up themselves. I can't blame that on Hackett. The decision to kick that field goal, yeah, but he shouldn't. But I defended Hackett because he should have never been in that situation. So I'll count that as just a plain loss. They screwed that game over themselves. They would have had the Charger game for sure. Chargers couldn't do shit. That Chargers game. So let's say that's our 5th win. The Chargers game. Because Montreal Washington, he got ran into and he fumbled the ball. What's another one? Both Raider games. Both Raider games. So that's 8 wins right there. Because Gordon cost us both of that. The Colts game. I blame that on Russell Wilson. That's not Hackett's fault. Russell Wilson was the reason why we lost. You just look to your right, you see Hamler wide open, and that's the end of the game. That's 9 wins right there we just left. The Chiefs, no, we just lost that game. The Chiefs, they just lost that game. Hold on a sec. Oh boy. The Chiefs, they just lost that game. The Titans, they had that game won. The Panthers, okay, to be honest, they didn't deserve to win that game. Not how the defense, I know. They didn't deserve to win that game. I'm sorry. But yeah, other than that, that's 10 wins right there. This fucking you mean to tell me this team could be 10-4 right now if they had if they had all had this offense right now? That means you mean to tell me if they were 10-4, they would be contending with Kansas City for the division. Wow. See that's how it is being a Bronco fan. You're so pumped for your team to see how they do, and disappointment. And the Jets game, yeah, I can't blame that one. I can't blame Hackett. That's Brett Rippin. But somehow Brett Rippin beat the Cardinals though. But then again, the Cardinals stink. But the Jets, yeah, I can't blame that. I can't blame that one on Hackett. Russell Wilson didn't play. That was just a terrible game. And yeah, that's really it. I'm just calling it. This team would have 10 wins if this offense played like it did last week and this week. 10 wins. That means they would be the highest wild card right now. That's crazy. But coulda, shoulda, woulda. They could have had all that 10-4 contending with Kansas City for the division. If they didn't win the division, I don't care. They'll be in the playoffs. That's all I really wanted was the playoffs. They win the division, okay. Extra motivation. But no, this team it don't want to score more than 16 points until now when it's too late. And the year after the Super Bowl, we went 9-7. See, that's not a bad season, but they didn't make the playoffs because the AFC was so tough that year. Like the Dolphins were doing good, fucking Tennessee. The AFC South was a strong division. The Raiders, last time when the Raiders were actually looking like a threat to win the Super Bowl, they were 12-4. Chiefs were 12-4. We were 9-7. Like the Patriots was obviously still a threat. Like, I think no, not the Raven, the Steelers, they were doing something good. I think even the Bengals were all right that year. In 2016, even though Denver won the Super Bowl, I can tell you now that offense wasn't good. Peyton Manning was washed that year. He was hurt. And the defense literally carried us that whole season. I'm not even joking. They carried us to that Super Bowl and they carried us to win it. Manning, Manning was washed that year. He was washed. I'll just say it right now. Even though he got hurt, he only played like 10 or 9 games. He was garbage. He was terrible, throwing so many picks. Like I'll just you know what I'll just show you the stats right now because Brock Osweiler. Now he was a good backup because he had Demarius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and all those other guys to help him out. See, look, Manning's last year, like I can tell you this right now, Manning's last year was terrible. He threw it was terrible. He in 9 games he threw 9 touchdowns, but he threw 17 interceptions. And that's in 9 games. He was just washed. And when he was in that last year, I'm like, this is Manning's last year, and I hope Denver wins the Super Bowl. And they ended up did. They got by wish that year. Another thing, we honestly we could have had more Super Bowls than that. 20 the Mile High Miracle that haunts Broncos fans forever. Broncos win that game, they might actually win. I think they would have won that Super Bowl because New England they would face New England in Denver, and New England don't win in Denver. They don't win in Denver. We own them and Denver owns Brady. Man, we would have beaten them in Denver. And then hold on a sec. All right, sorry. My dad was saying something. But we would have beaten them in Denver, and then we would go to the Super Bowl and play the Niners, in which I think we would have won. That Niners team wasn't that impressive. They just love running the ball. And we would have had more Super Bowls than that. And then there's Super Bowl 48, blowout city. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, Manning was I can tell Manning was just fucking scared in that game. But yeah. The Then there's 20, and then the Super Bowl. We won, but Manning was washed that year. Did the Broncos make the playoffs in 24? A second. Somebody's texting me. Give me a second. Hmm. Somebody's texting me, guys. Just give me a second. Oh my god. It's crazy. Okay, I'm done. Did the Broncos make the playoffs in 2014? Yes, they made the playoffs. They won the division. During era, no Denver Denver was winning the division all the time. 2014, 15, yeah. They made it. They made it in the playoff. Yeah, they made the playoffs in 2014, 15. Now, if you're asking me like what happened, you want to know what happened? The Broncos, they were 12-4 that year. All right. They were 12-4 that year. And guess what happened? They went one and done. They went one and done. And guess who they lost to? Manning's former team, the Colts. They didn't do shit in that game, dude. I think the score was like 24 to like 10 or something like that. Something like that. It was something like that. I don't feel like it up because we lost that. We were one and done. We were fuck ups. And then the Colts, they ended up going to the AFC Championship to face New England, which they got killed. And that's yeah. I just saw they lost to the Colts. I don't know if y'all would have beat New England in Foxborough. Okay, if it was in Foxborough, then no, no. If it's in Foxborough, then no, we don't win in New England because it's like we own each other in each other's houses. You know what I mean? Overall, Denver owns Brady, but mainly because a lot of the chances being like Denver, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we went one and done that year to the Colts. I was so fucking upset. I'm like, are you kid? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I don't know. That was back then when we had, two first round bye teams, but now we only have one. And I think that year we would have to go to New England. We would have to go to New England because I'm pretty sure New England won the AFC that year. Because I think Denver was under them. I think New England was like, what was New England's record? Can't remember. Cannot remember, dude. I swear I don't remember. I don't know what their record was, but it was better than they had the chance over there. I think they went 13-3 that year. I know Denver was 12-4. Denver was 12-4 that year. I remember that. The Page, I think they were 13-3, and they won FC. They had the advantage. So yeah, I don't think we would have won because if it in New England in Foxborough, we don't win there. Pats also went to okay, so they were told okay, so they had the tiebreaker over Denver. That's why. I'm guessing trying to think. They had the tiebreaker over I'm trying to think. They were also 12-4. So I remember they had the tiebreaker over Denver because the Patriots they beat Denver the same year in the regular season. I think yeah, because New England beat the fuck out of Denver, and it was in New England. They beat them like 40 to. They beat them like 40 to like 20 or something like that. They killed us in that game. I'm not even gonna lie. That New England, yeah, New England, they killed Denver. They knew Denver was their biggest threat, and they ended up killing them anyway. But yeah, but yeah, they had the tiebreaker over us because they beat us that same year. Yep. So we wouldn't have won a Super Bowl that year because we wouldn't have beat New England. If it was in Denver, then for sure. Because it's something about our stadiums that they don't want to win there. But yeah, that was crazy. But I don't know, man. I'm just glad that I wish I missed those days, and actually, everything was right. Our defense these days now that we have the quarterback. Now the coaching staff wants to be downright horrible. Yeah, but 2015, yeah, Denver wasn't gonna win the Super Bowl that year. If they ran into New England, then they would have been screwed because they don't win in Foxborough. They do that in Denver. And also, I agree with you about your story on Belichick. I used to defend Bill. What did I say about Belichick? Oh, because an overrated head coach. He is. It's clear that Brady carried him. Last year, he held a mediocre New England team. I'll give him that. I will give him that. But this year, no, man, he's stupid. He doesn't know how to pick his coaching. Matt Patricia, Matt Jones. I'm telling you, Matt Jones is gonna explode over there. And by explode, I mean like he's gonna lose his fucking shit. Now that dude deserves better. He's on a terrible coaching staff. Matt Patricia. See what he did with Detroit? He made them terrible. To be fair, for last year, New England had an easy schedule. I don't. You sure? Because they play teams like the Cowboys, the Eagles. Okay, I'll give you that. Well, some Patriots fans tell me that who despise Billy. So forth. But New England, back to New England. We wouldn't have beaten them in 2015. We wouldn't have beaten them there. They played the Eagles in the preseason. No, they played the Eagles in the regular season too. Because that season, oh, never mind then. Trying to think. Did the Oh, never mind. I'm tripping. Never mind. Now I'm thinking about it. Wait, how did the Cowboys play the Patriot? Oh, that's why. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I remember now. The reason why the Cowboys play the Patriots because that extra game, and since they both finished like what place did Dallas finish that year? I think they finished third. Yeah, Dallas was third in the division. That's why. Never mind then. My bad. Um, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. You're right. You're right. That is my bad. That is my bad. But yeah, but I think I'm gonna end this stream now. N- I do miss Vaughn on the Broncos. Not gonna lie, yeah, he was great. But now look at him. He's on the wrong side of 30. I mean, he's still playing like the same Vaughn Miller, but now he's getting more hurt. It's just that's showing you your age is starting to show. And I love Vaughn Miller. He was probably my favorite Bronco watching growing up, and um besides Peyton Manning and Demarius Thomas, obviously. Now rip Demarius Thomas, man. When I heard he died, I'm like, no fucking way, dude. I'm like, no way. I thought people was trolling because people are assholes nowadays. I just I love it. I love Demarius Thomas, man, and it's sad when he died. It's crazy. Brady needs to retire. Yeah, Brady and Rodgers, their time is done. Their time is done, dude. They're done. I'm just sorry. It's time for the new generation to take over. We're in the era that has Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Herbert. I would say Kyler Murray if he knew how to use his talent. Trying to think of some more quarterbacks. Tua. You know what? I'll give it to Tua. But yeah, Mahomes, I don't think will ever touch seven. No, I don't think anyone will touch seven. No, I don't think anyone will touch seven at close. Um, fuck. I'm trying to think. Trying to think. At most, anyone will be close is four. Anyone in the league. Jalen Hurts, yeah. Um, I'll give him that much. Hurts has been a lot better than previous year. But another thing, but I think, but I think that those old quarterbacks need to retire. Russell Wilson, he still has more in the tank. He's 34, so he's not technically on the wrong side of 30. But pretty soon he will. Pretty soon he's gonna be on the wrong side of 30. Trevor Lawrence, yeah, Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to hear no more thrash on Lawrence. That dude, he's good. He's gonna be good. And watch what happens next year when they get Calvin Ridley. When they get Calvin Ridley next year, oh yeah, I might actually pick the Jags to win that division. Also, Justin Fields, I would say that, but his throwing has got to be better. I don't like how people thrash that dude. I don't like how people thrash Justin Fields. They need to leave him alone. But that's the end of that, guys. I'm gonna be live later on at like 8:15 my time. So Eastern time is like 9. But I'm just gonna end this stream. But so and I'm plus I gotta go eat. So yeah. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out. I'll be live later on today and people can join. It's gonna be a hangout. And thanks for the mod. Yeah, I was meaning to give you that, but I forgot and I haven't had time to stream. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, and I'll see you soon.